Okay, so just wanted to do a quick overview of how to set up the syringe filler. Basically, it's pretty much like our matrix fillers if you see those manuals. Basically, it comes with a cabinet like this. Has a key switch, e-stop. When you first set it up, make sure your key is off, green light's off. E-stop, go ahead and push that down or keep it up, but make sure the key's off and it's unplugged. Then go ahead and what you want to do is there'll be a little connector here that's labeled limit. Make sure that goes in the limit plug, and one that's named access, and make sure that's in the access plug, and it's labeled also right there. So once those are connected, what you want to do is you got a green Ethernet cord. You want to go ahead and just connect that to your monitor up there. I'm going to go ahead and just turn off this monitor. To turn these off, you just hold down the power button in the back, which is right there, and you got a little sticker there that lets you know. Alrighty, so once you do get these guys plugged in, go ahead and plug the cabinet into the wall, and then go ahead and turn on the key. If this green light is not on, most likely it is because the e-stop is pushed in. To push that up, just go ahead and twist it, green light should come on. While the cabinet's booting up, you want to go ahead and turn on your screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn on this top button up here. Alrighty, so now both of them are booting up. Sometimes it takes about a minute to boot up. If you do get a screen here that says internet not connected, most likely that's just because this cabinet hasn't been fully booted up. So just give it a couple seconds and it should boot in. We always say go ahead and turn on the cabinet and then go ahead and turn on your screen. You also have this limit switch up here. You can move this around if you don't want it to index all the way up. The reason we like it to index all the way up is so when you're priming your pump by hand, you have all the room in the world you want for your hand. To adjust fill volumes on the syringes while it's booting up, I'm just going to show this. You could go ahead and loosen this nut up here, and you could screw these up and down, and you could see if I turn it down, it moves that plunger down. And then if I screw this up, it's going to bring the plunger up. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of set it with the other one and tighten it down. So that way, basically, if your top block up here is pushing against this one, but not this one, you could go ahead and adjust it with these adjustments here by just loosening that nut. Once you're done, just tighten it down. Needles are the same way, just like our matrix fillers. They're just lure locked, so they twist out and twist on. You then have some Allen wrench screws here to take these off if you do want to take them off to clean your syringes, etc. Alrighty, so now that everything's booted here, I have an alarm right here. So what that means is it wants me to hit this reset button up here and then go ahead and hit home. What that's going to do is kind of bring everything home. Alright, from here I'm pretty much ready to go. We kind of program these in a little bit when you first get them. So that way if I do hit go to start location right now, it's going to go down to where we kind of preset it, where basically this block's going to push down these cylinders just a little bit for us, because that's kind of how you want it to be. So they are pushed in. You can see that gap on this syringe is gone, and same with that one. And then from here you can also loosen up that screw and adjust as needed. Say you did forget to prime it or something like that, you could always go ahead and hit reset and home again, and what that'll do is kind of bring that block back up. When you are priming these syringes in the beginning, this is all done by hand, so make sure your hoses are connected to your product, and just go ahead and give these guys a few good plunges, and make sure you do get any air bubbles out of there. Same with this one if you are using the dual syringe. Alrighty, so from there we'll kind of go over some other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and hit go to start location again. First, we will go over start location because that is going to be the most commonly changed thing, especially if you take these out or adjust them in any way. Say we want this plunger to plunge to start a little bit further down. What I would do is go over to this user interface, and on my feed rate here, I'm going to go ahead and keep it at 100. You usually don't want your feed rate to run past about 400, 600, something like that. You do have the ability to go faster, but that's usually where we run it. I'm going to go ahead and put a distance in here of 0.1 and a feed rate of 100. These buttons down here are manual jogs. So now if I hit the Z minus, it's going to drop that down just a little bit. You can kind of see it's pretty fine movements there. Might be able to see a little better on the plunger. And we'll just go to that line there. So now both those guys are on that line. And I'll say, yeah, that's where I want it. So now what I'm going to do is go down to this red box, hit configure start location. You can save up to 6 of these. I'm just going to go ahead and hit this G54 and hit set. What that did was overwrite any of the start location 1 in the system. So start location 1 will always start here. Now if I want a program to load up and always work on start location 1, I set that in this green box and it'll save with my program. So if I have this on 1 or G54, it'll always now start at that start location. If you have any questions on this, just contact us. That's the hardest part of the whole thing. All right, from there we have plunge count. So say we need to plunge, I don't know, 20 ml, and these are 10 ml syringes, so we basically need to double the strokes in there. So we could put a plunge count of 2. First things first, I need to turn on my keyboard. All right, plunge count 2. Plunge volume, I'm going to go ahead and put 10. Plunge down speed, I'm going to go ahead and put 400. That's a good one to start at. And I'm just going to put 0.1. And delay between plunges, 0.1. And plunge up, I'm going to put that at 400 as well. So plunge volume, that's basically how far down it's going. Plunge down speed, that's basically how fast it's going to plunge down. Plunge in delay, that's basically if I want it to pause at the end there. You could tell it to pause for, I'm going to tell it 0.1 second. However, you can put that to whatever you want. Delay between plunges, since I'm doing a double plunge on this, I'm going to have it at 0.1. However, if you wanted to just hit your foot pedal once and run 5 cycles, but you want a 2-second delay, that's kind of what this is for. Or if you want to delay between our double plunge. Plunge up feed rate, I'm just keeping that at 400 as well. Alrighty, so from there, I could go ahead and hit cycle start here. And you're going to see it run. So there you go. If I hit it again, it's going to run it again. And we're good to go. Now say for some reason you're dialing everything in and you go a little bit too far, or your fluid's a little too thick, or you're going too fast and you stall out your motor. What I mean by that is the motor will make a grinding sound. Let me go ahead and we're going to go ahead and try breaking this thing. So we're going to go ahead and plunge down. And you hear that grinding sound. What happened is we just lost all positioning of our syringes, because basically they stalled out on the bottom of the syringe. And you can see we're no longer up there. To fix that, what you would do is go ahead and just hit reset on your user interface. Go ahead and hit home. And just let everything go back to its home location. And once that's done, we could go back to what we were doing. And then you would either slow down your speed, check to make sure you aren't going all the way down on your syringes, and make sure if you are using a thicker product, you're slowing down the speed or you're warming up your product a little bit. Other than that, that's pretty much it with our syringe filler. There is a couple other things. You can recalibrate your machine if you want. We do have another video of that if you did want to see that. You do have a count. So right now we have number of cycles 3. You can pause it. So basically when I'm running a cycle, I could go ahead and click pause. If I want to go ahead and save this program, basically I'm going to put that plunge volume back to 10. I'm going to go ahead and click save. I'm going to go ahead and just save this as demo. Start LOC for location G54 or 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then that way, anytime I want to use start location 1 and all these variables, all I would have to do is go ahead and click open and open up the program. And there it is up there, and I'm ready to rock. It'll automatically populate that G54 as well. And then I could go ahead and now we're back to normal, everything running good. Again, if you are wanting to adjust your plungers, You can just loosen these up a little bit and then screw them up or down. When you are screwing them up or down, make sure this guy isn't down on them. So usually when I'm adjusting, I'll go ahead and hit reset home and get those out of the way, or get this guy out of the way. That way then I can bring these up wherever I want. Basically, I keep them pretty high and then go down on it just until I see it moving. That way I don't have any slop on there. Same thing with this one. So that guy's tight. And now we're ready to rock. So that's basically how you use the syringe filler. There's not a lot to it. If you got any questions on it, please don't hesitate to call us or go to www.rockymountainplc.com for more info. Thank you.